Hey everybody, welcome back to Heisei Week. As you see, I am in a different location. I am in the office today, so I have stolen a room from somebody. But today, AJ, who is alive, so welcome back to life, AJ. Hey. We are talking with our friends from Muteki Sales. How's it going, guys?
How's it going there, Dave, AJ?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, it's been a while. I think I haven't seen you since the meetup.
Was on, yeah.
The meetup.
In the meetup.
That's been a while.
Yeah, for anybody who was there, Raymond actually led us to where we were going because it was chaos, and I am not from New York. So.
It was okay. Yeah, it was just the Times Square. It was nice. It was great though, seeing so much appreciation for the brand there, and seeing so many people come out, and seeing so many shocked people from Bondi being like.
Yeah,
I think we might have something here.
They were sending messages back home like, look at this! Look.
They were snapping everything. They were like, people love Kamen Rider.
You know, it is funny because like occasionally you will find someone like from Japan who is a Kamen Rider fan, and like they'll have that moment pause and be like, how do you know? Like this was a secret thing. Like,
right.
Thing, you know. Why do Americans know about it?
It's out.
Oh man. But it's good to see you guys again. Hopefully when the world stops ending, we can see each other again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
New York Comic-Con.
Yeah, which of course we will probably be doing a meetup. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Who knows? Probably.
We'll be there. We're there every year.
Awesome. Cool. Well, let's tell people a little bit about your store. Just start off with how long you guys been in business and kind of what drove you to enter this world.
For me, I grew up in Japan, so my first rider is Ichigo, the very first one. So I've been collecting stuff since I have stuff from like 1974. So I decided to get into this business because as I was buying stuff over the years here in America, we found that stuff was too expensive. Like, the market was ridiculous, and we just kind of went, you know what? I think we can provide this stuff, and Tokusatsu is a very niche genre, but we know that people like it. And we thought that, we could provide a good service with, competitive, fair pricing. And then, also, as fans ourselves, we wanted to make sure that we got our stuff. So we tested the waters around 2003 and then officially became a business in 2006.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, while we're talking about, let's put up your site real quick.
Cool.
We've been in it's funny too because like starting back so long ago, like it's before you kind of hit critical mass with a lot of Tokusatsu, with Kamen Rider, with anime, with Gundam. So starting off just initially, we'd pull like Kamen Rider items, Gundam items, and every single person was like, "You can't sell Kamen Rider. People don't want Kamen Rider." But then it becomes this whole thing where like you have this wonderful moment of just elated joy where people show up at your booth at cons and be like, "You have Kamen Rider?" They're like, yes, we do have Kamen Rider.
Right. That's my initial reaction for any booth like that.
Exactly, right?
I just want to point out that you have Gaim on your home screen. That was a great choice.
Yes.
Great choice.
Yes, it is.
Hey, that's we've been banking for Bluefin to get CSMs since the CSM line started. We've been working with Bluefin for quite some time, and every single time we always push them. Like, well, can you guys get more Kamen Rider stuff? Can you guys maybe get the belts or the CSMs? And for so long, they were like, no one wants that. No one wants that. So finally, it's here.
Right, it's there.
And I mean, speaking of CSMs, everyone out there knows, the CSM Typhoon was dropped last night, just announced. Pre-order is very short, but make sure you pre-order from these guys. They'll get you what you need. Do not miss out. The sizes they're numbered. It looks real cool. It's a once-in-a-lifetime item. Do not miss out, guys.
Well, especially, too, because, like, the old complete selection, like the original complete selection is what, $2,000-$3,000 now at this point?
Yeah. It's hovering in that range. And then, of course, I got mine signed by Ichigo himself, so I don't know how much that is now. I'm going to have to, like, CGC it or something.
It's priceless.
Yeah.
Priceless.
So, yeah.
Lock it away.
Oh, it's locked. It's definitely locked.
Listen, some of the most valuable things I have in this apartment are my Kamen Rider items.
Oh, for sure. I feel the same way. Like, if ever a
Right?
fire or something happened, like, how do I grab everything and with just my 2 hands?
Well, what's
Oof,
the
this
one
is gonna
thing
be
you would
tough.
grab? What would you go for?
Well, for me,
if
I'm
it
gonna
was-
grab most of my stuff that's like double. Like double is like one of my favorite.
Mhm.
But recently, I got like the Zoronos like Shinkocho figure, and I'm like, that's really good too. So again,
Nice.
it just turns to while you pick one of your most favorite, it starts to trickle down to well, these are also good too.
you end up burning in the house
Yeah.
trying to decide.
Here lies AJ. He
Yeah.
didn't choose fast enough.
That's
Now,
right.
see, what you do is you take everything you can, throw it in a blanket, wet the blanket, tie the blanket up, and take the blanket out with you. Think
Yeah,
about it,
true,
AJ.
true. Yep.
I'll bring everything.
Maximize.
I'll bring it to
Big
the
plan.
bathroom. Just wet everything. I'll protect only the bathroom.
Like, get out of the house! It's on fire! It's coming down! It's like 1 minute.
1 second.
If you could all come with me back into the fire to grab my stuff.
Yeah, that would be appreciated.
Oh, man.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. One thing to mention, yeah, the Seisum Typhoon does come with a red scarf.
Yes,
That
it does.
is
Yep.
really, really cool.
It's got those little interchangeable bolts too to change it between Ichigo and Nigo as well.
That's
Yeah.
right. Liza has
Wait,
the strips.
They went hard. They went hard on this
Yeah.
one. It's very exciting.
And it's sold out like in 30 minutes in Japan.
Oh my goodness.
Super quick.
See, now you got to talk to Bandai, and you're like, you guys want to chance re-release the Arkle?
I'm sure fans would want that, especially with like
Oh, yeah.
this numbered Daiza thing is the one thing that's really attracting me to
Yeah.
this upcoming CSM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's like owning a piece. You're like, there's only X amount, and I have number. Sure, it's not number 1. It's gonna be like the last number on the list, but I have the last number on the list.
Right.
I don't think my mom would be very pleased with me doing the hand movements and doing the jumping that synchronizes with the sounds of the belt. Like the last time I did it with the complete selection, she was going to disown me.
Ray,
Get
I've been to your house. It is floor to ceiling, just boxes of figure arts. I don't think you have the room to do the arm motions. Yeah, like,
That's what outside is for.
if you take down that's a support column of figure arts. If you take the 01 out of there, the whole house falls down.
Oh,
David had that
Support
once
pillar.
with his belts at one point.
Yeah,
but he found a way to support his house
The
without it.
Tower of Daiza. Yeah.
oh yeah, trust me. I actually have to make I actually have an access catalog that I have all in Japanese to cross-reference when I got it, where I got it, how many batteries it takes, everything. Super nerd.
One thing that someone mentioned, yes, the belt is actually made of real leather. It's an actual belt. Yeah.
Right, it's a belt.
They're earning that.
Also, yes,
that
fans.
paycheck. Yeah.
Hi, Sal.
Hey Sal, what's going on, man?
That's our buddy Sal Cipriano, who runs Ultrazilla, and he's
right.
always he's a customer and a good friend, and he does reviews and from all the stuff he buys from us, and he does like unboxing and all that.
Cool.
So glad he's
lots of videos. Him and his son. It's really great, and especially I really hope they've been enjoying Zenkaiger because that is a quite fun one.
Mhm. I'm really happy to see your guys' support is showing up to here on these streams, because I think for every single one we've done, there's at least a couple people who have supported the shop they go to or so, and I love seeing. I'm like, oh, thank goodness! That's how you get good community,
Oh
Right.
yeah, absolutely. What we definitely love is we love doing the convention circuits, like touring,
Mhm.
and we're mostly on the East Coast, CradleCon, New York Comic Con, things like that. But it's great just kind of meeting people, because you look at anime is a genre in of itself, and it's got a small community, but tokusatsu even narrower than that. So whenever you do happen to see someone who has a Kamen Rider t-shirt, or they have a belt on, you see them and there's this immediate
yeah.
friend.
I know
you.
Yeah, I met Ray initially because we were at New York Comic Con, and I had the whole premium Bandai gear for the Tokume Sentai, the Go Busters.
Oh,
He was at his booth, and he stopped, and he came out into the middle of the aisle, and he was like, Red Buster, and I was like, yeah.
That's right.
I think I don't remember which show. I think it was a New York Comic Con. I think 2018. So this was before we were carrying a lot of writer stuff. And I remember someone had come into the booth, and I'm just restocking like the shelves, and I noticed red and blue like Converse shoes. Ooh.
Oh, it just did.
It's this. They didn't want me to tell the story, but red and blue Converse shoes. I'm like, there's no other person or character I know that wears red and blue Converse shoes with like a trench coat. Sento? They're like Sento. I'm like, all right, like cool.
Right.
Like, that's a really good feeling.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've
man.
had that for quite a while.
Too.
Yeah, we've had that for quite a while because we've been selling Kamen Rider for so long. I mean, since 2003, and like Michael said, people have come up to us and said Gundam doesn't sell and Rider doesn't sell, and I'm just kind of like, when we first started, and I'm just like, that's patently impossible. You just don't know how to market it.
Yeah.
You don't love the show or the franchise enough to care to sell it.
Right.
And that's the one thing that we do that Michael said, about why we like doing shows, because now we interact. We
Right.
interacting like with you, David and AJ. When you guys came, there's some interaction. We have a shared community. So
Right.
then people finally noticed, like, oh, you carry Gundam, you carry Kamen Rider. That turns into a conversation. That turns into a sale. That turns into a friendship.
Right. Well, speaking of shows, we got a question in the chat. Are you guys coming to Anime NYC?
No, it's a little too close, unfortunately, for New York Comic Con, and we're just kind of testing the waters, obviously, because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, New York Comic Con is, I'm sure you and AJ know, it is a monster of organization.
Yeah.
100% agreed.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
New York
All hands on deck.
Yeah.
I get sick right afterwards. It's just like, because there's so much to do. So Anime NYC is a little too close for us. Like, we're just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, we love to do another show. I mean, we love interacting with people, especially since we know how difficult it is sometimes to get into New York Comic Con. But with New York Comic Con happening in October, like, it hits us right at the very beginning. So we'll have Revice stuff. We'll have all the P Bandai, like 01 stuff at this upcoming New York Comic Con. And we will be, I'm sure, wiped out from that. So even if we did have a booth at New York Comic Con or at Anime NYC, right. I don't know if we'd still have anything after New York Comic Con to offer.
Yeah. And let's be clear, this is like the first big con in almost 2 years.
Right.
I know.
We are not prepared. No one is prepared for this.
Nobody's prepared. Yeah. We're just kind of like, I mean, during the pandemic, we did very well with online sales.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Those two great choices.
We obviously, with all the pandemic and, how shipping and all this has occurred, and people have been buying stuff from us, and we thank our customers for that. We really appreciate it. But, now we're going into the show, we're like, kind of like, looking a little sparse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like,
we've had to start holding some things on the side. We've been getting all of the exclusive, like the 01 items. And we're like, ooh, we should hold this for New York Comic Con.
Right. And if they don't sell, obviously we'll put them on the site, because we want to make sure everyone gets something, but it's like, we're like, ooh, we don't know. We don't know what's going to go on.
There's something about seeing like a DX belt or just anything Rider at a show or like a con where I'm like, I could just buy it, but it's physically right there in front of me. And now all I have to do is worry about taking it, through the plane and extra baggage, but it's right there.
It's right there.
Hold it.
It's right there.
That's happened to me so many times. I did that last time with the Shot Rise, and I don't know if that was that's not a really good choice.
That's a bad idea.
That's a bad idea, especially at airplanes.
What is this blue gun thing that you have? Is that a weapon? It's a shot visor. A shot what?
Come to the side. We have a room here for you there, AJ.
There's certain ones too. Like if you get like some drivers, you're like, okay, that's a toy. But like you pull the gun part out and they're like, okay, put it back.
Right.
Yeah, like 2019, like last time we had New York Comic Con, we had a whole bunch of 01 drivers, and like Thursday, they were all like everyone came, and it was the first thing to go.
Right. I was just kind of like, hey, we have these other things. They're like, no, 01.
Yeah, give me that. Yeah.
That,
Take my money.
Man.
that's
I mean,
right.
It sounds really fun, doing what you guys do. Maybe explain to people like kind of what's the day to day like actually running a store like this. Like, what does it take, to put this awesome store together?
Late nights, communications, and a storage full of toys.
Yeah, it's a lot of
TLDR.
Well,
we have contacts in Japan, so I have to adjust for time difference. So, I'm always, wheeling and dealing to make sure we get new items in. I practically live at storage half the time. I mean, they actually shut down and they just goes, yeah, we see you on the, the late night cam. And, we're always packing up and we're always, making sure I'm kind of a nerd about packing. So it's like, it has to be pristine, perfect. All the corners have to be perfect and all the stuffing has to be there. I've had actually customers go, it's like opening a safe to get our package. It's like, we got to get the buzzsaw. I'm like, it got there safe, right?
That's care.
He sent me like weird odd end items too, like a Kiyomoto for Kuga, which the box for that is huge. And so he origamied a box to be like the perfect kind of size. I remember opening up and having to unfold the box, being so confused.
I measured that with the ruler too.
Oh my goodness! There you go. If you want to see some really nicely care packages, you order straight from Muteki just to see Raymond's skill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had friends, like people do like unboxing. They're like, can't open this. It's like 15 minutes later, like, oh, here's the toy. I'm like, oh,
it's safe. It was
sorry about the box, but it's perfect.
This week it's been the Revice week, just getting everything locked down so we have Revice to sell when it comes out.
Yeah,
exciting. This is always the most exciting time, is seeing all these new reveals.
Yeah, I know. Definitely, it's an exciting time. It's like, oh, more money. It's fine. I didn't need it anyway. It's fine.
Yeah. You're like, I'm still suffering from all these P Bandai 01 figures. Like, give me a break.
I'm still catching up on 01 stuff, man. It's never over. It's never over.
There you go. That's the perfect phrase for it.
Exactly. And then this week you guys dropped the Daizas back on the Bluefin site, and I was like, well, looks like I'm getting those too.
Yeah.
Now I have to go get a Detolf.
Oh my goodness! I've seen like all the comments are like, as soon as we posted, they're like, I ordered 8 Daizas. I'm like, fantastic, because that's the most important part if you collect any of the belts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and like you said, David, like you stack them up and
the Tower Daiza.
The
support system for your house.
It's a museum piece at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
See, now it just becomes a question of organization. Like, which goes on top? Like, who's there first?
Mm-hmm.
So, the top I had Omazeo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because it's Omazeo. Now, that was prior though to me having the CSM Sengoku. Mm-hmm. Now that I have that
that's your number one.
That's my new top.
Don't you have 4 of them too?
I have 4. I have 2 regular, and then 1 of each of the ARC editions.
Yeah, he would have to make sure it hits the top so it doesn't shake, because both of us live in earthquake
country.
Yeah, there you go. So,
you're in California. That's right.
Any height that is not secure is dangerous, and it's like every time I see mine, I'm like, it's like just right above my height. I'm like, maybe not stack them. I'll just put one lower back into the shelf.
I took my Tower Daiza down when there was like a mini earthquake, and like one day I was just standing there, and all of a sudden the Daiza shook like this. Like I was like,
nope.
I was like, nope.
That goes.
I'm putting a blanket down and I'm putting them all on the floor.
Yeah. Because I'm just like, if it had fallen, I don't even know.
Hey, thanks.
Hey.
Oh, cool, great.
Yeah, tell you, the Daizas are always really good to have.
Yep. I'm see, but like when you get the Typhoon, is the Typhoon going on front? Because that is Ichigo, like is the first one.
So Typhoon. I have a plan. The Typhoon is going to be in its own case.
Okay.
Because I also have an Ultimate Article Ichigo. So I'll have that behind the Daiza, and it's going to be its own thing, its own little a shrine to Ichigo.
Gotcha. I think I'm planning to just keep always wearing it, just to make sure I'm ready to rider kick someone at any given moment.
But see, like you got to have like a jacket over it, right? So like when the time comes, like you have to like flip the jacket over.
Yeah, flip the jacket.
There you go. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Let's see, Kabuto CSM.
Oh yeah, the Kabuto belt is fantastic. It's such
You can send it to me because I don't have one. My grandma once said you should send me your belt, please.
Well, and you have to tell her. Like,
But speaking of favorites, you know, what is your guys' favorite Kamen Rider series, and why is it Gaim?
Gaim sneaks up on you. It was funny actually watching Gaim when it was on, like starting being like, you know what, I like to.
Oh, there's not so.
I like to start all the shows, and I remember watching Guy and be like, you know what? I'm not quite sure about the dancing and the fruits, but I like all these characters. Let's see what we got. And boy, was I not ready for that show. Guy was a ride.
Yeah, it was good, but when you say like, you know, there's a favorite, I think each show brings so many different aspects, and each show is always going to be somebody's first. So, you know, I mean, personally, obviously, since I was there from the beginning, obviously, you know, the first series is very important to me. V3, I was a huge V3 fan. Black is a big one for me. And then for me and Michael, Kuga is the pinnacle of all Heisei.
For me, not even in just Heisei. For me, if I had to pick one series just all together, a couple come close. Faiz comes very close. But for me, I would have to say it'd be Kuga. And that's kind of mainly because, like, I mean, there's a lot of importance behind it being Shotaro Ishinomori's last series. You really get to see the show he wanted to make in that without any sort of interference from it. But looking at Kuga, like, it's so perfectly endemic of what the brand has always strived for. And going forward, it's what the show has always continued to be. Like looking at so many writers, like if you look at Kota, right? Kazuraba Kota from Gaim. Like he starts off that show exactly like Godai Yusuke, like talking to the kid, making sure he's fine, making sure he doesn't seem afraid. Like you see that kind of thread, like even in Naruto in 01, like there is that reaching towards your dream.
There's Pine.
Yeah, there's Pine.
I have 7 more.
Use all of, you know, just grab them all and just like whoop.
Yeah, at this point you need more hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for my money I would have to say Kuga.
Yeah, Kuga is like literally what all the old Showa Rider is now in a Heisei form.
Kamen Rider Shin is a great one.
Yeah, it's very underrated.
It is.
You have a tattoo also. That's pretty dedicated.
I've got the Kuga logo tattooed there. Shin is a good choice. It's definitely like one of the most aesthetically pleasing ones because I love looking at the Shin design, being like, yeah, like that is a monster rider there.
Kuga.
Thumbs up, perfect.
It's like obviously without Kuga, there's no Heisei, there's no Reiwa. It's just like no Tiga, no other ultras. After
yeah.
Oh God, if there's no Kuga, there's no Gaim.
I agree with that.
There's no Gaim if there's no Kuga.
Oh, that's the worst timeline. I don't want to live there.
Yeah, no,
that's the dark future that Zio had to prevent.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
I know how to torture Jing Clark now if I have to. I'm gonna send it to that timeline.
Oh no!
Can you imagine like a world without Kamen Rider? I'd have so much more money.
Yeah. I'd be up to like my roof and Sentai stuff.
Like, guys, look, I just got a new car. What
Yeah, exactly. I just put a down payment on this Aston Martin.
There you go. But no, instead it's belts and figures.
Belts and figures.
Yeah, but people don't understand. Like when people come over and you're like, why is there a belt just sitting there? I was like, okay, but wait, look, it lights up, and you like turn it on, and they're like,
right.
Get it.
So, Geno, great choice. However, I'm gonna need you to go watch Gaim immediately.
Well, you're providing that for this person.
Every time I'm gonna think of Guy now, I'll be like, David,
Yes.
Yep.
I kind of like it, I guess. You know, I mean,
You only have there's Bravo.
Yeah.
I've got more.
Gaim is a fun show because you start it and you're like, I think I know where this is going, and then it ends and you're like, nope, I did not know where this is going.
No,
I think David. So I watched it as the weekly. Every week, new episode. I don't know. I'm sure you two would watch it also weekly. And I know, like, since David, had to catch up and watch it as a binge. I'm like, man, you missed out on like that 1 week where you were just waiting just to find out what was about to happen.
right.
And you're like, I should have made you wait a week to watch the next episode.
And the crazy thing was when Anthony, one of our other team members here, when he first showed me like how they henching like with like the fruit coming down, I was like, never. I will never be into this.
Yeah.
And then like fast forward a few months, I was so wrong. Also, one thing that I never got answered for in the show. Remember when they sent all the missiles and then they just like sent them back to America? I was like, hey, are we dead? Like, are we canonically dead? Because that was a lot of missiles that they sent back.
That was such a great moment too, because like so few times does a writer like series like actually explode. Oh my god, this person's gonna make me cry. No, I'm gonna cry.
It's one of the greatest scenes of all time.
Can we
It's literally one of the greatest.
Can we just talk about like how painful that was? Because like you have that moment where like Ichijo's talking to. I'm sorry, we're getting off the rails.
No, go for it.
We're gonna go to your favorite.
Forget David. You are showing people the passion you have for Kamen Rider. This is good.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, no, there's so many wonderful moments in Kuga, especially because you lead into that moment where it's like Ichijo's just so sorry that this had to happen to Godai Yusuke, because he's like, this wasn't your weight to bear, this wasn't your responsibility. And he's just there kind of like, well, you know what? Like, whatever this journey was, wherever it leads me, like, it was worth it because I made you as a friend. I met you, and that was worth everything that this put me through. Now, if something does go something does go wrong, if my eyes turn black and if I become this prolific monster,
you have to kill
me. Yeah, you have to be the one.
You have to kill me. You're the only person I trust. And I'm just like, it's rough.
Yeah.
It's just like, and he's not even and that's the one thing. I liked it that it was one lone guy. Mm-hmm. No secondary, tertiary, whatever, 4, 5, 10 riders. One lone guy.
All right.
Weight of the world on his shoulder. And
now, speaking of sad, double the second to last episode, which AJ, you were right. I should have stopped at the second last episode. the last henshin where Philip was going to be and he didn't want to close the driver. I was like, I didn't come prepared for this. I thought they were just going to win. Like, what is this? What are these feelings?
Right.
What's building up in me?
There's so many times. There's so many times where the franchise will hit you with years and years and years. And I think it was the Reiwa? No, it was the Heisei Generations Forever movie where it was Ankh and Oz showed back up, and I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna hold this in.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that same feeling. I was like, ooh,
that's right.
Where did this come from?
That's nuclear kick. You can't beat that. Just imagine what Ultimate's kick would have been.
Mm-hmm. Just remember, though, the stronger he is, the more power Omazeo has.
We'll get to that villains panel tomorrow.
Yes.
I know we got to talk about. There's so many good villains throughout the series. Like, you always have that too. It's a wonderful dichotomy of like the perfect hero got to be countered by the perfect villain.
Right.
Definitely, it's great seeing shows though that change that. Like I like Fives is another good one where it's like you have an antagonist but you don't necessarily have a villain in Kiba Yuji, and it's great always seeing like how they can take the formula and just tweak it just slightly to give you something new every year.
Well, that was the same thing with Evo in Bill. Mm-hmm. I mean,
he's Machiavellian as a villain.
Machiavellian, pre-planned. Like, he wasn't just some, I'm going to shake my fist. He had plans. He had countermeasures and
betrayal. Oh my god!
Yeah, the betrayal. He had such depth as a villain. Yeah. You kind of go, I have to admire the fact that you had this all mapped out.
Yeah, and like Bill was my first show, and
It's a
I
great first show.
assumed that
They were all like that.
they weren't really like he's a bad guy, but he wasn't like really going to kill people. And the moment I knew Kamen Rider was different was remember when he's at the top of the tower and he says, "For every 10 minutes that you're not up here, I'm going to open a black hole and kill some people." I was like, well, clearly they'll get up there like with like 1 second left to spare and they'll stop it. No, that man opened several black holes before they got up there. I'm like, oh, Kamen Rider is real. Like
He wiped out those people. He was probably one of my favorite villains because I won't spoil it for anyone, but he has like you said, the betrayal, it comes out of nowhere, and you just kind of go, holy cow. Yeah, so it's just,
That's true. That's a catch-22.
There you go. We did it.
To be fair, Kamen
Thank
Riders
goodness Cody.
they've never really relied on timelines so much.
But it's like it's stuff like that, that you don't expect, from what's essentially a kid's show.
Yeah.
Right? You don't expect that kind of depth. I mean, there's a lot of like dramas here that I'm just going, nah, Kamen Rider's written better.
Yeah.
Written better than a natural American drama,
Form Bob, Medic Brain and Heart.
Yep.
When Heart, I won't say that, but there's a point towards the end when Hart's talking to Drive and he's like, "Will you remember us?" And I was like, that's crazy to be at a point where like, can you remember that we existed? Like that's all you're asking for. It's like we just want to know people know that we exist. I'm like, oh,
right, that we matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whoa, that's kind of deep.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a conversation to be had too, especially like you look at the way some of these shows end, and they end with such a dramatic poignancy, and you kind of have to stop and think about it and be like, my heart hurts. Like what am I? How am I supposed to handle this? How am I supposed to go about my day now? And the show airs at 7:30 in the morning, like in Japan. Like you're supposed to start a day like after hearing this,
right, on a Sunday, no less. It's just like, I wake up.
It's crazy.
How was your Sunday? Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine like you get to like a cliffhanger in a show, and like with Gaim, like an episode ends, and you're like, I've got to wait a whole ass week now. Like,
again, how was your week? It's not Sunday.
Oh my god!
I mean, it's crazy. Like I told AJ, when I first started watching shows kind of back to back, like it would take me a week or two in between each show. Like 'cause I wasn't done mourning the previous show. Like that experience was so great. I'm like, I can't just betray Double and move on to something else. I need time to recover.
It's like getting over
and on to the next one.
I think the last one that happened to me was episode 42 of 01. And like I said, won't spoil anything, but I literally was in tears.
Yeah.
That
was good.
That was definitely though. Like they ended 01, and you're like, okay, give me the movie, I'm ready. And you're like, it comes out in like a year, and you're like,
it's like a year, but I need it now though.
Yeah, I need it now.
The patience we have to wait for some things is like
if you thought that
incredible.
Yeah, no, it's like 01. That was my first live, watching series.
Yeah,
and then when the pandemic hit, I was like, wait. I was already waiting an entire week, and now I have to wait for an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh, it's like welcome to the club. It's like if we total the amount of wait time we all have,
It's actually not a reference. We started business in 2006. So if anything, Exit copied us. Putting it out there. Muteki Gamer, yeah.
I actually got the name off Mazinga Z from the theme song of Mazinga Z. So I've had this name in my head since 1972.
There we go.
You guys had it first. Cool. Awesome. So, I mean, just to let kind of people know, what's something you wish customers knew about you guys or your store? Like, what's something that you've always wanted to tell them?
Well, I think the most important thing is that, over the years, when before we started this, we would buy Japanese toys, but I don't think people really loved what they do. We actually we know during this discussion, we love the shows. We're fans just as much as our customers are. So when we meet up with fans or fans email us, with questions about the toys, or we meet them at the show, I mean, we're them. All we're doing is just providing a service, but we will talk the show. We will, all these obscure little things, episode by episode. We're not trying to just sell you a toy.
Mhm.
If we have a toy, that's great. And that's another thing, we do at shows. Like, if we don't carry something, we are more than happy to redirect people to a different booth. Like, if they go, oh, we're looking for, I don't know, pink sparkly unicorns. We don't carry that. But if we know someone, we will, and we will direct them. Because we're fans. We're fans. We're collectors. So we know how hard and how tough it is not to have that item. You want that belt. Where can I get it? I don't carry it, but somebody else might.
Mhm.
So, I'm always about making sure that the customers get what they want, and we are more than happy to talk. We are more than happy to discuss about a toy. We are always more happy to, make sure that you got it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the one thing that we're very keen on.
It's a great kind of moment of like, if someone comes up to the booth and like mention Agito, like, that's it. Like, the day's done. Like, we're talking about Agito. Like, the man punched God. But I mean, like, as far as like the store goes, it's definitely like, so we as a store, we try to follow the trends in Japan. We try to follow like what's selling, what's happening, what's working there, and whatnot. So if we see something going in one direction in Japan, we're going to follow that. If anyone has any questions, or if anyone would like to see us carry something, if like you're like, hey, I have an interest in like Kamen Rider Saber. Ray, we have a question about international shipping.
Yep, we do. Okay. We send international.
There you guys go. For everybody asking us to sell to you, if you're in another country, go to Muteki Sales.
Yep.
There you go. Boom. Problem solved. We have made everyone happy today.
And the addition sign is complete.
But if people want to see us sell like more Kamen Rider Saber, or like more Super Sentai, more of any particular series, like, hit us up on Instagram, send us an email, tell us that there's a demand for these certain things. Sometimes, like, if we see something not selling in Japan, maybe we just don't know that it would sell here in the States.
Awesome. Well, I think you've made the entirety of the country of Brazil happy today.
Oh, Brazil has a huge.
Yeah.
Wind Spectre.
Yeah, Wind Spectre. Mazinga Z, I know like all these, I had coworkers who were from Brazil and they knew all this stuff. Like, I had friends from the Philippines who were like, Voltes V. Voltes V. That was like their big thing. It was like, Voltes. It's like, yes, we have Voltes. It's like, and it all depends on like where you are at. Brazil is huge. Argentina has a lot of, tokusatsu and Japanese anime fans. Brazil obviously, because it has a Japanese culture there. We've sent it to. I've sent stuff to Macedonia. I've sent stuff to Netherlands. If we have it,
fans are everywhere.
Yeah, we'll send it. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, guys, so that solves the problem. Yeah, that solves the problem. From now on, just go to Muteki Sales, and then that's it. We've solved the shipping crisis, guys.
There you go.
That makes me so happy. Because they keep asking me, I'm like, I can't do anything for you just yet. But now we can. Perfect.
There you go.
So before you guys go, is there anything else you want people to know? And also let them know kind of what shows besides New York Comic Con in the next year-ish that you may be going to, because obviously nothing is set in stone anymore. There's no plans anymore.
Right. Oh yeah, I know. It's a mess and a half. New York Comic Con is definitely our biggest show. It was the first show we did as an official business.
Mm-hmm.
So like we didn't take a short local thing. We just said, if we're gonna jump in the Grand Canyon. Why not?
Screw it. How bad could it be?
Deep financial hole that you just keep on going in. But
how bad could it be? Yeah, famous last words.
Right, exactly. I mean, we've done like Michael said, we do a lot of East Coast show.
Yes,
we will have that. We will have the Revice driver.
We secured our Revice drivers this week. We'll have them at New York Comic Con.
Yep, we're gonna have that. we have done Fan Expo Boston before, but obviously because of the pandemic, we haven't really gotten it. We just finished something at the Cradle of Aviation Museum in Long Island, which was a small toy show, just to get our feet wet again, just to get used to things. We do Castle Point Anime Convention. We do a lot of local comic book shows. We are trying to get back on the road. No guarantees yet. Obviously logistics and everything, and but we will try to hit. Obviously, San Diego would be kind of tough. That's right. I got to send that to you, Cody. I'll have that tracking number for you in a few hours.
And that really good packaging.
Good packaging, which means I got to go to storage, find the perfect box, find all the stuffing, wrap it all up, get the tape, measure it. He's going to be like, what is this? I'm just like, well, there's a box within a box. It's a nesting doll. And then, he's got a saber.
If I had to kind of impart any more with anything, it's if you like Kamen Rider, if you like Tokusatsu, like give more of it a shot. Tokusatsu is a medium, and that medium can communicate so many other stories. Like you have, not just action, but you have comedy, you have horror, you have romance, you have drama. If you even have a cursory interest in anything, give it a shot. Like not just Super Sentai, not just Ultraman, but you have like Daimajin, Denjin Zaboga, Zubat, Kikaida, like 50 years worth of weird, odd ends Tokusatsu heroes.
Question: we have a random question that totally was not from me just right now. It's random. I guess someone else in the building did that. That's crazy.
all the same device, huh? All the same device.
The Revice device.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure, so it's Instagram.com/Muteki_sales.
Yep, it's at Muteki_sales for our Instagram. We respond to email very quickly. That's Muteki Sales, one word, at gmail.com. Our website, www.mutekisales.com. It's pretty straightforward, And we'll answer any question anytime about any Tokusatsu toy. And for me, I'm a super robot nut. I'm a Gundam nut. It doesn't faze me. Classic anime, Yamato, that kind of stuff. All this new anime stuff might be a little.
The anime knowledge kind of ends at mostly Gundam, but yeah, basically we know all the things that we sell, and then Tokusatsu. You try to stump Ray on hey, have you heard of Condor Man? Ray owns all of Condor Man on Laserdisc. You can't stump him with that.
Nope. I've had friends who's this? It's just some random picture. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's Zayram.
Yeah.
It takes me at most a minute.
Yeah. No, we are loving Tokusatsu fans.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wait, do you have one?
Did they make one? I mean, I only know the Decade one, which is the Megalodon.
If you have one though,
I don't think the guy in Vice Snap is currently. They've shown it.
Revealed, yeah. God, I'm loving all these form changes though.
Oh, it's strawberry.
What are you at? Are you at 4? I don't know how you show. You're at the 4th figure shown. Okay. 5th figure shown.
I got 3 more.
I have all of the riders just on my entertainment system, just in a line.
Oh really?
Yeah, sitting next to them.
Yeah, mine's in a database.
Yeah, no, Ray has everything. Everything gets entered onto a spreadsheet. Yep. He has it, but it's not out.
Yeah, I'm up to about, I think, close to 11,000 individual items.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been collecting since the 70s, so it stacks. It builds up.
Wow.
It's an extra.
Okay.
It's an extra 10 plus years of collecting.
Yeah, really, what the entire store became was kind of an excuse to perpetuate.
To get more stuff. If I buy one, I could sell another 5.
Yeah, no, it became like, well, you could buy the one, or you could buy like a case of 6. And I'm like, what do I need 6? I could make a store.
Yeah,
and that's how it all started.
The realization right there.
Yeah.
that's awesome. Oh man. Well, guys, before we go, we do have one more thing. AJ, if you want to show them. So Thursday was originally going to be our day off, but we do have a top secret, totally not Kamen Rider Gaim panel. That is a random silhouette that we have used.
I'm sure you had some input into that.
Oh, absolutely, yes. But definitely come. We do have a surprise panel tomorrow. Obviously, we'll talk some Kamen Rider stuff. But about partway through the panel, we do have something really cool that just became available for us to show, like in the last 15 or 16 hours. So this is totally out of left field. What just happened? But we think it's pretty cool.
I'm gonna be so sad. I will be at the Tamashii pop-up tomorrow, so I will have to catch it through YouTube and everything like that to watch it. I'm like,
Adrian, I think I told you what it is, right?
No.
Did I? I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't tell him now.
David loves to keep his. He's pretty good at it.
I pulled to him. Sorry, that's my bad.
It's something David's trained in because they give him all the info and he's not allowed to say anything. Like at this point, I'm pretty sure he knows what's coming within a year to 2 years. At this point,
I do. I do. So 2023, yes.
Blink if the Shinkocho Seiho Fies is coming up. That's disappointing.
I'm sorry, guys, but definitely come back tomorrow and check it out. It should be cool. I'm pretty excited for it. It might have a chance to do what we did last Heisei week, where we got Kamen Rider trending in America. Let's do that again, guys.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the 50th anniversary.
There you go. For the 50th.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a hashtag for the 50th.
That would be.
Hold on.
That's a pretty good one.
Did I miss anything good? Yeah, you missed everything. It was riveting. But you did make it in time for the last Gaim figure. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, wait, hold on. What stock I need to place my money down? Oh man.
Well,
but anyways, guys,
financial advice.
Don't sell any financial
advice. Yeah. But guys, this was definitely really fun. Raymond, Michael, thank you guys for coming out. I look forward to seeing you guys in New York again because we will be doing meetups again. Outside to be super safe, hopefully by October.
Absolutely.
God willing.
Absolutely.
And you guys
we all wear rider
we had
suits.
last time with you guys.
Exactly. I ordered a rider suit. Hopefully, it should get here within the next decade. Hopefully, get here before the next meetup. So we'll see.
That's going to be really important. You should check out our last panel on Saturday. We have some cool things to announce, which will really make you hope that suit arrives. So
okay, all right.
I'll just leave it at that. So
Blink if.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm just saying we're going to be trying to do 3 or 4 things that have never been done for Rider in America, all at one time. Because I don't do things small. I only know how to bite off too much.
Hey,
there's so many innuendos that can be taken from that. But I'm not
take all of them.
Take that. Yeah.
But anyways, guys. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So anyways, guys, this was fun. Everybody out there, make sure to check out Muteki sales. Go order the Typhoon CSM from them. Get your orders in quick because it's a short turnaround, and it's a once in a lifetime kind of item. And also, if you happen to live in Brazil or another country, they can also take care of you there as well at Muteki. So yay, we figured it out. We brought world peace. All the problems are gone now.
I solved that. I solved all of that. Just like Peace Kamen Rider belt.
Yes,
exactly.
Your Nobel Peace Prize is actually in the mail. Okay, it's in the form of a belt so that you can wear it.
How is pack as good as yours?
Everyone just needs to reach for their dream.
That's
This guy turns to a rider kick, right?
And then it's also never over.
That is
Never over. But anyways, guys, we'll see you later, and enjoy the rest